Last time on this channel, I showed that there are many different feats that don't align with Part 1 Naruto getting close to Mach 1. I showed examples of movement speeds, reaction speeds, combat speeds. I finally addressed the Sound Ninja in the fact that not only is chakra manipulation involved changing the requirement of speed within the medium, or sound in this case, but that Zaku's, feat-wise, he shows air pressure when attacking and nothing proving sound speed attacks. Proving. Could they be sound speed? Could sound be part? Sure. But with everything in, there's factors that don't require it. When we're factoring in these minimum speeds that these characters must scale to, these become important factors. But a few of you in the comments brought up something lacking in the video, and it was on purpose. So I'm gonna get on with this next part of the video addressing a little bit of scaling with the Land of Waves. Now this video was initially supposed to be part 2, but in writing up and going over all the feats, or rather going over the singular feat, this is going to be the whole video. But we are going to deep dive heavy into this Land of Waves, Naruto blitzing some thugs, samurai people, calc, feat, whatever you want to call it. Alright, I'm going to lay out this feat in absolute terms, and also compare it to another feat later, towards the end of this video, so you can see exactly where I'm taking this. In order of events, Inari confronts the samurai from a distance. We see they are facing away from him, and we see buildings to the left. Inari runs at them, and they go to cut him. And finally, Naruto saves Inari. And his mom, of course, getting in front of the samurai, replacing him with a log, and then returning behind them. A great feat. But let's dissect this extremely closely, and I really want everybody to follow along, so when I compare it to the other feat, you can know, absolutely know, I looked at every angle of this. Alright, how far away was Naruto? Well, we don't get to know. But for one, we see that he realized the samurai were heading there based on cuts leading to the house. So he had long been going that way. Next, Naruto says it was thanks to Inari distracting them that he could save his mom. And this is a statement-based channel, so, I mean, case closed, he's only relative to them. He couldn't have done it without Inari. Okay, for real. It's just amazing that feats like this will dismiss statements because it nerfs, but take them as true when it buffs, but okay, moving on. Let's rewind the feat to the start. Naruto followed their direction. We know that much, and here we see them walking while facing away from Inari with those buildings to the left. He yells at them and they turn around. Note the exclamation point. Does the exclamation point equal couldn't react or see them? Is that what that exclamation point means? Is that what it means at all? Does exclamation points represent that? Did Inari blitz that samurai? Or is it more an example of surprise? Okay? Inari runs at them and covers a decent distance before they put their hands on their swords. You'll see in the, one panel, they do not have their hands on the swords, then they're, okay, they acknowledge, and they're like, geez, kid, whatever, and they're putting their hands on the sword, okay. And he's covered a good amount of distance. But with him running, note the exclamation points. Did Inari blitz his mom's vision here? Or is it more an example of surprise? Also, note the time passage between the panel of Inari running and Inari at the bottom left panel. Because at the bottom left, he's right in front of them. How fast is Inari? How much time passed? Where is Naruto right now? Can they see Naruto? Well, it's here we then see Naruto does the feat in question. He got in front of them and replaced Inari with the log, saved his mom. Note the exclamation points. Did Naruto blitz the samurai's vision, or is it more an example of surprise? See, that's the big question. Now, I'm, of course, not saying he couldn't have blitzed faster than the perception of their eyes, you know, frame rate or whatever you want to use to calc this. But if the exclamation points are your only proof, then I have a problem. Let's also address the distance Naruto had to travel. You know what? Scratch that. I'm gonna go back. The exclamation point thing is huge. Is that really the only reason people are saying, like, is it purely because the exclamation points that they're saying, man, he did it without them even perceiving? And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, really focus on that. Am I crazy? Am I the crazy one here? You reread it, it's like, I don't know. That really doesn't seem like exclamation point, therefore blitzed. Okay. So, tell me if I'm being unfair. Alright. Now let's address the distance Naruto had to travel. This calc here is done perfectly. And fairly too, except for one thing. The assumption that when he moved back behind them, that he traveled all the way back to where we see him in that same time frame. This isn't standard practice. For example, look at this feat from Hunter x Hunter. Note the distance of the guns to Chitu. You'll see the bullets get extremely close before he disappears, meaning he didn't move until we acknowledge that the bullets were already that close. And then we see that he is all the way past the police and had time to take their fingers. More than a single cop's worth, no less. So he did it to multiple cops. But look here, again, this feat doesn't and shouldn't take his distance as equal to him being past the police, the distance traveled in the time frame. This feat uses the distance between him and the edge of the panel as its guaranteed minimum distance moved to have gotten out of the way like he did. Go check out any calc covering this feat and you'll see the distance used as I'm describing. And you'll see the reasons why they do it. This is why I reject the total distance used for the Naruto one. Lastly, the time frame used is different from the standard they set themselves within the site for reaction times. I just want all of this out there for you guys. Let's talk numbers. For Naruto to have done what he did, assuming the exclamation points meant he did so without being seen, moving in front of them and all that at all, and for it to be within the time frame of their brains not even processing it, which is what the original time frame from that calc I showed you was using, we're looking at around Mach 0.8, given we aren't going to double that distance like they did. Still, that's it very fast, and far better than everything in the last video. However, for Naruto to have done this feat, still assuming that the exclamation points meant he did so without being seen at all, it comes out instead to merely 0.0818, I'll have the number, 0.08% of Mach 1, or around 28 meters per second. Not even close to the same. And this is using human reaction speed, and I even used the faster end to say that these are more superhuman level based on what, you know, is standardized across their whole site. You know, you can take either one, that's fine. 0.8 or this 28 meters per second. I'm giving you different avenues here, okay? But lastly, and also worst of all, is addressing those exclamation points. Were they surprised? Definitely. Each character with an exclamation point showed surprise at given different points. Were the exclamation points in this feat different such that we know it meant they also didn't see him at all? No. And so, at its worst, this feat actually tells us almost nothing for speed, as it would be even less than the 28 meters per second. It would be following closer and closer back to what I was showing with the first scans, and would follow more into actually what's more consistently shown, in fact. So, I mean, you know, I really wasn't expecting this one feat to become its own video. I'm not going to let this stop my momentum for the next one, so consider this part like 1.5. The true part 2 will still be coming, but I wanted to address this feat verbatim and compare it now to the other feat I was talking about at the beginning. It wasn't Chiru's bullet feat. What I want to show is this feat of Hiei blitzing Makintaro. The reason I'm showing this is because we have Hiei in all black against light background versus another character, okay? I'm not looking to scale here. This isn't about scaling, so the strength doesn't matter. It's irrelevant that Makintaro is a demon above normal human levels, okay? Focus purely on the feat. He moves to him, stopping to actually slice off and grab his arm to take back with him before moving back to his original spot. That original spot which we can confirm. He does this without Kuwabara noticing. Makintaro was facing him the whole time and was literally on alert to fight to the death. Hiei then reveals his arm to the guy because it was so fast the guy didn't even feel him losing his own arm. Here's a general idea of the distance of a square. Hiei was around 2 of those. Now, all I'm trying to show is the difference in factors that played a role in the 2 feats. And the factors all lined up in the Naruto feat simply don't convince me of nearly those Mach 1 speeds being the most accurate. In the next video I'll be doing, you'll see just that, however, and I'll be able to get comfortably above it as well. I'm talking about Mach 1 speed feats. Still, I hope you enjoyed this video, learned something new. With the comparison of factors with the Hiei feat I just showed and the Naruto one, hopefully you see the level of difference to the degree of proof that there can be for feats like this. And hopefully you can see my skepticism of this and why. If you enjoyed the channel, please leave a like, a comment, and do consider subscribing. I hope I addressed everything regarding this feat. You're gonna love the next video that covers all the really more impressive ones. Again, it's a good deal above baseline Mach 1, and I can confirm it and solidify it as like their minimum amounts is definitely above. So, we'll get there. Thanks for watching, and ciao.
Pastor.